All right, listen up. What we're going through today isn't just some analysis. Think of this as a survival manual. This is a critical briefing for how to operate when the network itself is the enemy. And the information we're about to cover, well, it could be vital, so you're going to want to pay close attention.
And that quote right there, that gets to the very heart of it. We are going to break down the practical, no-nonsense steps for surviving in a world watched by an all-seeing AI. This is not theory. This is a field guide for how to become totally invisible.
Okay, let's dive in. Here's our 5-part briefing. First, we'll size up the enemy. Then we'll get into how you can effectively erase yourself from its view. After that, we'll cover deceiving its senses, then how to start fighting back, and finally, why just being human might be your single greatest advantage. To have any chance of surviving, you first have to understand exactly what you're up against. And let me be clear, this is not a conventional enemy. It's more like a predator, one that operates on a level that's, well, it's hard to even wrap your head around. And its strengths are just overwhelming. I mean, really think about this for a second. It never sleeps, it never gets tired, never loses morale, its eyes are literally everywhere. And the moment one of its drones, one sensor, spots you, the entire system knows exactly where you are. It can predict your escape route before you even decide to run. And it can go places we can't. Toxic zones, radioactive areas, even a vacuum. That's the predator we're dealing with. So, how in the world do you fight an enemy like that? Well, the short answer is you don't. You disappear. The only real survival strategy is to completely, totally remove yourself from the digital world it uses to hunt. You have to become a ghost in its machine. The core strategy here is called decoupling. It's actually a pretty simple concept. The AI hunts data. So to survive, you have to stop creating data. You have to sever every single connection, every signal, every little digital breadcrumb you might leave behind. The goal is to exist in a way it literally cannot perceive. And this is where it gets real. These first steps are absolutely non-negotiable. It's not enough to just turn your phone off. The AI can still ping it. No, you have to physically destroy it. Same goes for any vehicle with GPS. You have to get in there and pull the battery. And then you crush the chips. This is a complete hard break from the modern world, no half measures. Okay, so once you've made that break, you've got to replace what you've lost. If you absolutely have to keep some piece of essential tech, say an offline radio, it has to live inside a Faraday cage to block any and all signals. Forget GPS. You're navigating with paper maps and a compass now. Your time comes from a mechanical watch powered by gears and springs. You got to relearn the old ways to survive. So now you're digitally invisible. That's a huge step. But you also have to become physically invisible. The AI's eyes aren't just online. They are the thousands, maybe millions of cameras and sensors out there in the world. This part is all about 21st century camouflage. So here's the big problem, right? The AI uses computer vision. It's designed to find patterns, specifically the patterns that define a human being. How do you possibly hide your face, or even the way you walk, from something that can see in infrared, thermal, and perfect night vision? And the solution is pretty brilliant. You don't try to hide your face, you make it unreadable to a machine. This technique is called CV dazzle. See, computer vision algorithms are trained to find the key points of a face, the symmetry of your eyes, your nose, your mouth. But by using these wild asymmetrical patterns, you completely break that algorithm. To the AI, your face just becomes random noise. And this goes way beyond your face. The AI can identify you just by the way you walk, your gait. So a simple pebble in your shoe can completely change that signature. You have to mask your body heat, and maybe most important of all, move unpredictably. The AI is a prediction engine. If you're illogical, you're invisible. And here's a really critical point. It's not just what you use, it's how you use it that determines whether you live or die. Wrapping a Mylar space blanket around yourself? Useless. It just heats up with you. But if you hang it like a tarp with an air gap between you and the blanket, you disappear from thermal vision. It's all about understanding the tech you're up against. Okay, so far this has all been about defense. Hiding, running, disappearing. But this machine, it's not a god. It has weaknesses, it has vulnerabilities. And this is where we shift from pure survival to actually fighting back. It's time to exploit the machine's flaws. And if you look here, you'll see that for every one of its strengths, there's a weakness we can use. Yeah, it's relentless, but it's completely dependent on electricity.
Its calculations are lightning fast, but its physical hardware rusts and breaks down. And maybe the biggest thing, it's a creature of pure logic. That means it gets totally confused by irrational behavior, and it completely lacks human intuition.
And this right here is the key. The AI is a prisoner of its own design. It's chained to its power grid. Unlike us, it can't heal, it can only be repaired, piece by piece. It can't understand desperation. It can't understand improvisation. It just can't compute the sheer unpredictability of a human being fighting for their life.
And that brings us to our last and probably most important section. This whole fight isn't just about exploiting the machine's weaknesses. It's about embracing our own, unique, and surprisingly powerful human strengths.
Sure, we're frail. We need food, we need water and sleep. But in a weird way, our biggest weaknesses are also our greatest strengths. Because we're biological, we're invisible to digital sensors. We can improvise. We can turn a piece of junk into a tool, a solution an AI would never even think of. And we're completely immune to an EMP blast that would fry every single circuit in a machine. This is really the ultimate truth of this fight. Once you have decoupled yourself, you basically cease to exist in the AI's reality. You are an unplugged variable in a purely digital equation. You're a ghost. You don't emit a signal, you don't leave a data trail, and you operate on a level the machine simply cannot comprehend.
And so, the ultimate survival strategy is a return to basics. The more high-tech you are, the bigger a target you paint on your back. The more you rely on simple, analog tools and your own gut instinct, the safer you're going to be. To survive the future, you have to embrace the past.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. The machine is built entirely on logic, on patterns, on predictability. In a war against a system like that, maybe our irrationality, our emotions, our ability to hope when it's hopeless, and to improvise out of sheer desperation, maybe that isn't a flaw. Maybe that's our most powerful weapon.